Welcome into another video in my series where we're going through and testing all the weapons inside of MW3 to see how viable these weapons are for us to be using inside of our Zombies game mode. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you like to see how weapons perform inside of Call of Duty Zombies, you are definitely in the right spot. Make sure you subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so you're not going to miss out any future uploads from myself. As well, down below in the description, you will find the link for my streams. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I stream everything from MW3 Zombies all the way through to custom zombie maps. Genuinely have a ton of fun over there and would really hope to see some of you come and hang out. And today is going to be a stream day, so hopefully some of you will pop by. Now, in today's video, we're going to be getting into a review, but before we do that, I wanted to touch base on the Purgatory event as I went and gave this a shot. And I just about finished it all in one run, so let me know if you guys have tried the Purgatory event. I think the Rebirth Island for this event looks really cool, plus there are some pretty awesome animated camos in there, which we are going to be using on today's run. Now, before we dive into the review video, I just wanted to mention that we are very close to hitting 5,000 subscribers. We are less than 20 subscribers away as of recording this video this morning. Now, when we reach 5,000 subscribers, we unlock our 4th Black Ops 6 giveaway on the channel. This one is going to be a Vault Edition on any platform of your choice. To be entered into the draw, all you need to do is be subscribed, liking, and commenting on my videos. Best of luck to everybody. As well, if you're looking for players to play with to help out complete missions or schematics inside of MW3 Zombies, you are welcome to join the Zhorde community, which is now over 600 members full of players willing to help out other players. If that sounds like something for you and could be a right fit for you, the link for that you'll find down below in the description. Now, in today's video, we're going to be diving in and continuing on with Season 6, the Season of Buffs. So in this video today, we're taking a look at an MW2 assault rifle that received a pretty substantial buff for Season 6. So seeing what they had done for the buff to this weapon, I definitely want to check it out. So today we're going to take a look at the Chimera assault rifle from MW2. We're going to be taking that through all 3 tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you have a really good feel for how this assault rifle performs inside of Zombies. And at the end of the video, you should be able to make up your mind on whether or not this is going to be a viable option for you to be running inside of your games. So without further ado, let's dive into the Chimera review video today. All right, welcome in. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. I've got one for you today that I think you're all going to want to watch all the way through, as I feel like this is going to be very relatable to every single person watching this video today. So I've been really enjoying Season 6 so far with the weapon changes and the love that they've shown to the MW2 weapons as a whole, as most of them have received a pretty substantial buff. So if you're new around here to my channel, when I spawn in here and do my weapon testing videos, I always spawn in and start with my perks with no additions to the weapon to make it any stronger whatsoever, aside from running Deadshot Daiquiri, as I like the extra critical damage that it does provide. And then we head off and find our first bounty contract of the day inside of Tier 1, and the first one we got today was a Mangler to handle. Now, so far with the buffs that I have seen to the MW2 weapons for Season 6, the visual recoil, weapon firing stability, and damage across the board for the majority of the MW2 weapons, I feel, have been substantially buffed. I certainly feel like they are definitely a lot more usable inside of Season 6. Now, our first Mangler bounty contract of the day right there, you saw, was fairly easy work with the buffs that they had made to this assault rifle for Season 6. So seeing how, fairly easy that first bounty contract was, I was really eager to head off into the Pack-a-Punch machine and increase the damage output. Now we have one of the Purgatory event camos on the weapon, so I wanted to keep that. In order to keep your camo, you melee the Pack-a-Punch machine, wait for the center to turn green before using the Pack machine or your PAP crystals, and you can keep your camo on your weapon. Then we off to pick up our second bounty contract inside of Tier 1 of the day, and this one was a Mimic. And now we're going to be taking this one on at White Rarity with, again, just Pack-a-Punch on the weapon, and holy smokes, I was thoroughly impressed with that. One magazine, and we were able to take out our second bounty contract inside of Tier 1, being only Pack-a-Punch. No tools, no ammo mods, nothing, just White Rarity. Very impressive. Now, this is where I get incredibly frustrated with this game. I thoroughly enjoy MWZ Zombies. I feel there is a lot of players in the same boat as me that genuinely enjoy playing this mode and find it to be something we all are really having a good time playing with. I love the player-to-player interactions. This needs to get fixed. I am so absolutely fed up with games crashing, freezing in the middle of a game. It is so incredibly frustrating and discouraging to want to load up the game and play it continually. And I feel like we all have encountered this numerous times in our games. I mean, at the end of this particular freeze right here, I couldn't even move my player. So that was my first run of the day. It ended with a lost connection to host, server, or whatever. So we went back in and, I just continued on from where I had left off. So we putting on Legendary Tool, we're putting on my ammo mod, and we are Pack-a-Punched 1. And we went off and picked up our bounty contract inside of Tier 1, the final one of our second run today. And got a self-revive out of that, which was nice. So now, seeing how it had performed across our first game's 2 bounty contracts inside of Tier 1, and now our second game's 3rd bounty contract inside of Tier 1, I was eager to see what this assault rifle was capable of pushing into Tier 2, but I didn't want to, increase the damage output. I wanted to take a bounty on inside of Tier 2 at the damage output we had inside of Tier 1. And we got a perfect opportunity to show you how viable this can be inside of Tier 2, being Pack 1, as it gave me my least favorite bounty contract today, which was a Disciple. Yay! But I can already tell you the damage output with the Season 6 buff to this assault rifle is substantial. We are Pack 1 Legendary inside of Tier 2, taking on a Disciple bounty contract, and you can see his health bar just melt at the end of our barrel. Absolutely amazing. Not the loot I wanted out of that, but it was time to turn to my handy-dandy pocket pack-a-punch machine and up the damage output on this assault rifle once more to pack-a-punch level 2. And then it was time to go off and find ourselves a bounty contract inside of Tier 2 to see, is this going to be as strong as our final bounty contract was inside Tier 1, being Pack-a-Punch Tier 2 Legendary with an ammo mod inside of Tier 2. I was really curious to see if this was going to be one of those bounty contracts where I'm able to just kind of mow them down. And you can see the damage on the Disciple's health bar inside of Tier 2 just literally evaporate at the end of our gun. Truly, absolutely amazing damage output on this weapon. Being only Pack-a-Punch 2 Legendary with an ammo mod, I was feeling incredibly confident using this weapon. So it was time to push into Tier 3, stop and grab all our perks, and see how this weapon is going to be handling Tier 3. But before we do that, we're not going to increase the damage output. We're going to keep it at Pack 2 inside of Tier 3 and see how it handles everything. I was really kind of impressed with the overall damage output on this. Now, in today's build, I have you guys covered with the build and the camo that I'm running. The build that I worked on today was geared towards having this shoot as laser straight as I possibly could and having as much damage output on the weapon as I possibly could. So if you're looking for a faster ADS build or a faster build as far as movement goes, you're definitely going to be able to swap out some of the attachments I used today to accommodate those changes. So we can work together in the comments section below to make that happen. But here we are picking off just a few riff-raff that came at me inside of Tier 3, being Pack 2 Legendary. So not too bad. At this point, I was kind of eager to see how this weapon is going to handle crowd control inside of Tier 3, being Pack-a-Punch 2 Legendary with an ammo mod on it. And the one thing I noticed is it definitely has the damage to dish out to the zombies inside of Tier 3, being only Pack-a-Punched level 2. The one thing I did notice doing crowd control at Pack 2 with this weapon is you're not able to stand and dish out the damage to the horde. You are going to have to back up as you're shooting. But it's definitely a viable situation. Like it dishes out enough damage that you're not going to be too concerned. As you can see, we got an armored zombie right there. You can see the zombies inside of Tier 3 at Pack 2 are not much of an issue for this weapon with the Season 6 buffs. So that was encouraging, and that was really awesome to see. and gave me some confidence knowing we still had one more damage output to increase this weapon to. So at this point, we wanted to make sure we picked up the plates. I had no golden armor plates with me today, so it was time to take this to max damage output, throw on our mags of holding so we don't have to worry about reloading anymore, and see how this weapon performs. Now your max your max ammo that you can have, the build that I have today, is 765 rounds in the weapon, which I felt was more than enough rounds for me to be comfortable using this inside of tier 3. Like, I definitely felt like that was enough ammunition. Like I said before with the previous MW2 SMGs that I've run, 400 rounds is, in my opinion, about 200 to 300 rounds short of what you kind of need in your reserve to make things effective and, you know, usable inside of tier 3 without finding yourself running around trying to track down ammo all the time. So I had picked up a bounty contract before I started doing crowd control, as it was incredibly busy inside of tier 3, like a shopping mall on Black Friday, like I've been saying. So I figured since there was a bounty right next to me as I was making my way for tier 2 crowd control, I just picked that up and we'd go in and take on the bounty contract after we got the weapon to max damage, which is what we did. So we had a mega abomination in the area. Now what you're seeing is my game when I relaunched the game after crashing. This one in particular, I was having issues with frames. The game was very laggy and like it would freeze for a millisecond and then unfreeze. So I really wasn't feeling the most confident in the game's ability to finish this match. I was feeling incredibly confident with the weapon's ability to dish out a ton of damage. You can see the damage we're doing when we get the critical shots on our Mega Abomination bounty contract. This location here is right by the ammo cache inside of tier 3, the one that is in the warehouse. So just outside that by the water, you can come down here and you'll see on screen, like, the Mega Abomination doesn't come down. He just kind of freezes there and starts firing up his laser attack over and over and over. So it gives you an awesome opportunity to take out your bounty contract with relative ease. So we finished that off. Absolutely amazing damage output. Again, I was feeling really confident using this. Some okay loot. Now, I had picked up a VR11 in one of the cases I was looting inside of tier 3 in this run. So at this point, I figured, you know what? We don't need a sigil. Let's take us all into the Season 1 Dark Aether. Since we have the VR11, that we can complete the escort contract inside of the Season 1 Dark Aether. So that's exactly what we did. Before I went in here, I stopped at the buy station, picked up some Casimirs, some sentry turrets, and a couple extra self-revives, as I know this Dark Aether can be a real challenge to complete as a solo player. So I wanted to come in here and give it a shot. I've got the VR11 out, as you can move super fast when you are running with the VR11 in your hands. As you can see, like, I am just motoring. But this is the route and the path that I take to complete the Season 1 Dark Aether as a solo player without coming in here with a Scorcher. So you can get up on this building using this ladder coming up the side this way, which will allow you to grab and activate your Aether Extractor contract inside of the Season 1 Dark Aether. Now this is the contract I usually do first when I come into the Season 1 Dark Aether, and we're going to use Casimirs like I do in the Season 2 Dark Aether to complete the Aether Extractor contract. It is all about using your Casimirs, which is exactly what I did to complete this contract inside of the Season 1 Dark Aether. So we came over, there's the Aether Extractor. You can see me put on a couple plates just to protect myself. I don't have golden armor plates, so I definitely had to be conscious of making sure I had plates on while I came over to do this. And then with one Casimir, we were definitely able to finish off that first one. I did pick up another Casimir from the Elite that died from my Casimir I threw, so that was awesome. We've replenished the one we used for the first Aether Extractor. Now I still have 4 Casimirs to use, and I've got 2 Aether Extractors to go, so this shouldn't be too much of an issue. There is a ton of zombies in here, and again, no golden armor plates proved to be a bit of an issue coming inside of the Dark Aether for myself. Let me know if you guys found that same type of struggle. After the second one, you can jump over here and climb through this window to make super quick access over to your third and final Aether Extractor, which is up here. So I went and did that. We equipped another Casimir so that I could get that one off, and this this did not work out. This was a massive fail, and I don't even know what I was stuck on here. I was like in mid-air there, getting destroyed by the Mimic. I had to pop out a second Casimir so that I could try and get into this ether extractor, but that didn't work. Again, don't let things like this bother you. Self-revives are in the game for a reason. They're there so that you can get yourself back up, and I went and tried it again. This was not working. This was definitely not working. So at this point I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? We're gonna try and turn something so I can use them to help me. The disciple wasn't turning, so at this point I dropped down the energy mine. Figured I would use that to be able to complete this ether extractor right there, and it worked like a charm. So if you are solo, you don't necessarily have to use Casimirs. You can use your energy mine. If you place that and go straight for your ether extractor, you can complete it that way. And then I went and equipped another Casimir I had extra and got into the reward rift, which gave me a legendary tool and 2 extra self revives, which was awesome because I burned through 2 of them to complete that ether extractor. So here we are now, moving on to the next contract inside of the season 2 Dark Aether, which is down here on that bus. And on the front of the bus you're going to find your ether bunny, and this is going to activate your P&D Outlast contract inside of the season 2 Dark Aether. Got out of there close to taking it down by that mangler that was hanging out at the contract. And then if you come up this way, go up the zip line, you can run right through here into your ether extractor contract and get it started, which is exactly what we did. So you can come up here and do this. Now with the VR11 in your hands, you are going to be able to move incredibly fast. This contract gets incredibly crazy. If you come up here, the zombies aren't going to come to you, but they will throw meat at you if you stay still. Again, with no plates in the Dark Aether in Season 1, it can be a real struggle. As you see, I took a number of downs in this Dark Aether as a solo player, but like I always say, you know, you don't want to let the downs bother you. You're not going to lose your perks if you've got self-revives, and you can get yourself back up, so try not to let that get you frustrated. It does happen even to the best of us. We take downs, so don't let it bother you. Get back up and just continue on with the fight. Now at this point, I was feeling fairly confident completing this Outlast contract. We're about halfway through. I didn't feel like I was getting overrun too much. And then the last half of this contract turned to be extremely spicy. A whole bunch of zombies pushed in. This is when I switched to the VR11 so that I have a faster movement speed and I can just kind of run around inside the P&D Outlast contract. I use my thermites there to have the zombies run over top of them, which will cause them damage, and it will take out hellhounds. 2 thermites. If they run over both of them, they'll die, so that is awesome. And my tip as a solo player in here is to not try and dish out the damage to everything coming in, is more just kind of maneuver your way around. You just need to survive for the length of the P&D Outlast contract, and when it completes, the majority of the zombies inside of the P&D contract will be eliminated when the contract completes, as you can see right there. We got the majority of them done. I had to make a couple of extra loops around here in order to be able to get into my reward rift. But it's definitely something, you just kind of keep moving around, wait until you've got a breather, like a quick second to get into your reward rift. I got my energy mine up, so I used that. Got my ether blade, which I equipped right away because that was awesome, and I have a bunch in my stash, so I didn't need to worry about stowing that. So I just went ahead and threw that on to help me out and complete the Dark Aether in Season 1. Wow, had a little brain fart there. So the last bounty contract, or the last contract to do inside of the Season 1 Dark Aether, is the escort. I always save this one for last, and I did manage to collect some circuit turret boards on my run before I got into the Dark Aether. So I was feeling fairly confident to be able to complete this escort as a solo player. I do have the VR11. So I was pretty confident that I'm going to be able to heal the VR11. It is only double pack-a-punch, so I knew one shot's not going to take it to full health. It's going to take a couple shots to get it to full health. Now, if you're in the Season 1 Dark Aether and you are lost and you don't know where to find your escort contract, just go along the castle like I am doing here, along the walls, making sure you're keeping up to the top and keeping things away from you. And what you're going to look for, I will show you right here. It's going to be a little section that sticks out right there. So it sticks out just to the left of the castle walls, and on the edge of that is where you're going to find your escort bunny to activate the contract. Right down here. You can hear it as we get close. So here we are. I'm going to be picking up the escort contract, which is the final contract we need to complete all 3 inside of the Season 1 Dark Aether. So I was feeling really confident right now. I've got the VR11, should have no problems being able to keep the escort at full health, regardless of mega abominations in the area or what have you. I've got circuit turrets with me, and I have a couple extra Casimirs. So I was feeling pretty confident to go ahead and complete this. We got that started, and when I start my escorts, I always make sure I pop in a few shots of the VR11 to make sure it's got above 100% health, so that it can last a little bit longer. And then I wanted to make sure that we have my decoys equipped so that we can use those to kind of keep the zombies and the crowd control away from the back of the ACV, as that's where it'll take a ton of damage. And then you want to have a sentry turret to place on top of your ACV to help clear out some of the zombies and riffraff that are going to be, you know, attacking the ACV. Also, if you have circuit turret boards, you want to pay attention, as there's a circuit right up here that you can go ahead and put your circuit turret board in, which I do, and activate this one so that I can complete this stop and go ahead and equip my jug suit, as I had put on my sentry turret. So I don't want to lose the jug suit, so we went and equipped that. And then it was time to get a reload in and re-health the ACV. As you can see, its health is just disintegrating super fast with all the zombies right there. So we got a couple shots in and re-healed up the ACV. And like I said, I was feeling really confident right now. Like, I'm going to be able to get all 3 of these contracts done inside of the Season 1 Dark Aether. No. My game got scanner repair and I crashed right there. Let me know how frustrating that is for you in the comments. This is the build that I put together. Like I said earlier in the video, work together in the comments section down below to make any changes to the build so we all have one amazing build to use. This is the camo that I was using on the weapon that is from the Purgatory event. Don't forget to be subscribed, liking, and commenting the videos for your best chance to win the Black Ops 6 Vault Edition that happens at 5,000 subscribers. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.